Let me show you slide 7. Slide 7 is very important. The question is, what do you want in your leader? This result comes from an American study. I have done the same study in England, and I have the same result. And what you do to people is you say, here are many characteristics you want in your leader. You can see honesty, competence, forward-looking, inspiring. There are 20 characteristics. They're all positive. They're all good things to have. You want your leader to be mature and ambitious and loyal and imaginative. The question is, which ones do you want most? And what this slide shows are the characteristics people want in their leader. Notice number 1. They want you to be honest. They want you to tell them the truth. They want you to have ethical values. They want you not to run off with the money. We have seen many examples of leaders who fail because of this. What people want in their boss is leadership which is honest and ethical. Next, they want competence. They want you to be able to do the job. They want you to be forward-looking. They want you to be inspiring. And they want you to be intelligent. I see these as 3 characteristics. I think competence and intelligence are the same. Inspiring and forward-looking are the same. They want you to be honest, motivational, and competent. Those are the characteristics people want from their leaders and the characteristics they look for. Notice again the issue of integrity. I want to move on now to talk about personality and why the research has come back to this issue of the trait approach. And I want to talk a little bit about personality characteristics and those associated with leadership. For many, many years, psychologists debated what the most important personality characteristics were. The great Russian Pavlov was interested in this question, as was Teplov and others. And the question is, what are the basic characteristics? What are the basic personality dimensions associated with people? Can we give you a limited number of these characteristics? And after nearly 100 years of research, the answer lies in 5 characteristics. And on slide 8, you will see these characteristics. The first is very important. It is neuroticism. Leadership is stressful. You have to make decisions. Businesses fail. Things go wrong. People let you down. Managers suffer stress. Managers have a difficult job to do. The question is how they deal with that stress and how prone to stress they are. If you look at the lives of successful businessmen and women, you will see all of them have had failure. There is very few incidences of a successful entrepreneur who has not failed, sometimes failed more than once. They have had disasters. The question is how they responded. The question is how they coped when times were bad. This is the dimension of personality called neuroticism, stress proneness. Some people, quite simply, are more sensitive to stress than others. Some become ill. Some become unable to make decisions. Some get psychosomatic illnesses. They have headaches. They have ulcers. They refuse to deal with others. We all have our characteristic ways of dealing with stress, except some people are more prone to this than others. In business, you need to be resilient, hardy, tough. Tough in the sense that you're able to withstand the stress. Successful leaders need to be able to deal with the daily stresses of everyday life without becoming psychologically or physically ill. That is why this dimension is very important. That is why it is important to select in individuals what is their history of coping with stress. How good are they at dealing with disasters, with bad figures, with things going wrong? What do they do? How have they done this in the past? The second dimension is one which is well known. It is the dimension called introversion, extroversion. Extroverts are outgoing, sociable, and positive. They like being around people. They like new things. They are people. They are stimulated by other people. They relax being with other people. They do things fast and they make mistakes, but they are people on the go. Traditionally, introverts do the opposite. They prefer to move away from people. They tend to do things on their own. They are much quieter. Now the question is, which is better for a leader? Well, the answer is a little surprising. You can't change. If you are an extrovert, you will remain all your life an extrovert. Why? Because it is biologically determined. To a large extent, your personality is linked to your genetics and biology. And so extroverts remain extroverts and introverts remain introverts. In fact, your personality is usually fairly well established by the age of 16. But there are a number of great business leaders who are introverts. The difference is they act as if they are extroverts. Introverts have to learn to look like extroverts, to be happy in parties, to move towards, not away from, other people. Extroversion is very important. The behavior of extroverts is important. But what introverts have to learn to do is to look like extroverts, is to be extroverted in their behavior. The third dimension is openness, openness to experience. What does it mean? Curiosity, imagination, divergent thinking. You find this in the way people have different hobbies. They have hobbies which are creative hobbies. They might paint, or might play music, or might be very curious about things, how things happen. Imagination is important for leaders. They need, to a large extent, to imagine things being done differently. They need to challenge processes. They need to have a go, be imaginative, and be open to suggestions. So this dimension is associated also with leadership. The fourth dimension is agreeableness, and here we have something rather surprising. The question is this: should your leaders be agreeable or disagreeable? Agreeable people are warm, tender-minded, empathic, kind. Disagreeable leaders are tough. They're not as sensitive to other people's emotions, or if they might be sensitive, they're not always prepared to deal with them. The data say, the research suggests, that great leaders are actually rather disagreeable. Why? The answer is they have to do tough things, and they have to do tough things with people. They have to give them honest, negative feedback. At times, they have to sack people. They have to make tough economic decisions. At this moment in time, we are in an economic crisis in this country. Many organizations are having to sack people. Good leaders have to do this confidently. It's not nice doing this. It is not nice saying to somebody, you have to leave. knowing particularly that they might not have a job to go to, their family might have a lot of difficulty. But it has to be done. Disagreeable leaders are able to do this more easily. They need to be able to make tough people decisions. And yet, of course, we would, all of us, rather have agreeable leaders. If you are an agreeable personality, you then have to learn to be tough. You have to learn the script. You have to learn to do these things. Personally, I would like an agreeable leader who can be tough and courageous. But my worry would be that their kindness and their warmth would mean they don't always make good personal decisions with regard to other people. And in that sense, they are not successful. You have to be tough with individuals. You have to be tough-minded. And this tends to be associated with disagreeable, not agreeable. The final of the 5 characteristics is called conscientiousness. It's hard work, it's diligence, it's achievement orientation. Leadership is a tough game. It is not a 9 to 5 activity. Leaders start early and finish late, and they work very, very hard. They don't have an option. You need to be conscientious. You need to stay late. You need to come in at the weekend. You need to encourage other people to do likewise. So the situation at the moment is we think there are 5 human personality characteristics. These characteristics are hardwired in the sense that they are biologically based. You are born with these. Yes, they do alter a little bit. And that they relate to leadership. And the most important of these is neuroticism and conscientiousness. In other words, you want leaders to be hardworking and resilient. The data say those are the most important.